Yo. So today I thought I'd give you kind of a little bit of insight really into my past, into my kind of TV interest past. Some of it might actually surprise you. I mean, most long-term viewers on my channel will know that thanks to kind of modern TV and movies, I've become a geek in the last few years, but that wasn't always the case. So I'm going to take you back to kind of my very early years and kind of explain what I used to be interested in terms of TV. Now, of course, I was born in 1997, 2 years after the invention of DVD. So, kind of, by the time I was kind of growing up, kind of, I can't remember anything really from before I was 5, and that would have been about 2002. So, kind of, most of the time growing up, for my first couple of years, we didn't have a DVD player. We actually had, like many homes, a VCR with VHS tapes. And for several years, my TV would TV would essentially be watching an old VHS tape at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, we had a load of like old kids cartoons, like ones for very little children at the time. But also had some stuff like Wallace and Gromit and the first Shrek movie we also got on VHS tape, which yeah it was good to have watched through. My first memory though of a proper TV show, as far as I can remember back, the first one that I always remember us kind of crowding around the TV to watch it was Channel 4's Scrap Heap Challenge. This was great fun. It was something we used to watch every Sunday, and it was just good fun to watch. The show, which at the time was the time I was viewing, was presented by Robert Llewellyn and Lisa Rogers, and in each episode it would pit two teams against each other in order to build a machine out of scrap capable of accomplishing a certain task, whether it be creating sumo machines, machines that you get across a swamp, fire engines, and basically, and even milk floats at one point. It was just great fun to watch. I mean, it did go through a couple of kind of format changes later on, but I remember kind of sitting down with the family and then just enjoying watching them build these ridiculous machines out of scrap metal. If you want to check it out, Dave sometimes does repeats of it every now and again, and if you can't find it there, then there are several episodes up on YouTube that you can check out. It was a good show, from what I found. Anyway, with Scrap Heap Challenge taking up Sunday nights, eventually Monday nights became host to Channel 5's The Gadget Show, which, like Scrap Heap, kind of went through a couple of format changes or changes in presenters, but I think its golden years was pretty good. The show, which was originally presented by Jason Bradbury, Susie Perry, and John Bentley, it was basically like a telemarketing show in which they would show off all the latest technology that you could buy for a certain amount of money, and it would usually be involved in kind of madcap challenges, kind of racing across cities in order to use tech to the best of their advantage. And once again, it was funny to see, but it's also kind of like how I would describe food porn, except more kind of technology, which is kind of looking at all these technology in which you're going to buy when you have money when. Yeah, most of them are just outrageously expensive, but it was good fun to watch, and like with certain other shows, the camp presenters, they did have chemistry amongst each other. They also later on added other presenters such as Dallas Campbell, Pollyanna Woodward, and Otis Dealey, as well as people like Rachel Riley, and there's one other. I can't remember, Williams, famous bobsleigh champion. But yeah, the Gadget Show is technically still going. It's still on Channel 5, but the only remaining presenters from the kind of original years are Otis Dealey and John Bentley. The rest have all kind of moved on, and even Craig Charles has plenty. Which I have nothing against Craig Charles. I liked him in Red Dwarf, but yeah, the format of the original show is gone. Anyway, come 2004, Saturday nights, eventually gave way to Strictly Come Dancing, which, yeah, I wasn't sure about at first, but it's evidently got power, and me and my family still enjoy it to this day. I'm sitting down each year, working out who we know, who we don't, and who's a good dancer. Even seeing them try and develop over the next few weeks. It's a really good show. I don't, I doubt I really need to say any more about it. I mean, I think most people, it's a choice of either Strictly Come Dancing or X Factor, and people just choose which one they want. And the final show I'm also going to talk about, Strictly Come Dancing and Scrap Heap Challenge, were kind of taking up Saturday and Sunday nights, but eventually another one entered the fray, Doctor Who. Yeah, and I'll be honest, kind of, when I first saw the show, kind of, first introduced to it back in 2005, I wasn't sure about it. I mean, I saw the first few episodes and was like, what on earth is going on? But then by about episode 4 and episode 5, I was like, okay, I can get into this show. Yeah. And ultimately the rest is history. I mean, Doctor Who now, in its kind of new form, it's been going for the past 12 years and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. So, yeah. Well, there's an insight into my kind of very early television years, my television memory. Ultimately, kind of from then, things have changed. Kind of new TV shows, new channels, and ultimately turned me into a geek. But in the end, I'm happy because those those 4 shows, Scrap Heap, The Gadget Show, Strictly, and Doctor Who, those were ultimately my starting grounds. They took me off the old kid shows, and they ultimately kind of turned me into the person I am today. I may have picked up more in that time, but they're the 4 that I'll always have a very special place in my heart about. Anyway, continue on with the festive season. Hope you all enjoy it.